Veterans Can Code, or VCC. Veterans. VCC can help veterans learn coding fundamentals. Transitioning veterans. VCC can open doors to new career prospects for transitioning veterans. Veterans with an established interest in coding. VCC provides veterans with platforms to present their coding skills and an opportunity to build their portfolios.
Okay, maybe the next question. How easy is it to transition from being in the military into becoming a civilian?
It depends on what day you ask me. I wouldn't necessarily say easy, because a lot of times, being in the military, you're coming into an organization that has established systems that are kind of like, I don't say autonomous, but are really established. The military's been around for quite some time, and so they have established systems in place and things of that nature. And so our role is having a skill set that fits into that larger system. And so really then is being told what you're going to do, when you need to do it, and how will it be done. And so because of that, there's not a lot of gray area, because a lot of times these things are given as orders. And so it's not what you think you will do, it's what you will do. And if you don't do this, then basically you have Leavenworth and you kept the military, things of that nature. But when you transition out, it's really all up to you where your life will be. And if you don't have a vision or understanding what inspires you, what you want to do, then transition can be very difficult, because now you have the freedom and autonomy to go any place or direction post-military. And so a lot of our veterans will say, well, I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I want to continue my education. So a lot of them then seek higher education, going in that field, and then hopefully through that, they can reflect in that discovery process and then say, all right, I know I need education, I know I need a job to be sustainable and have sustainable income, and they typically start there and then say, well, I like all these other things, but they're my hobbies, but is there a way to really monetize that? So for me, I had an idea of what I wanted to do in the military, but I got into like government contracting, supporting, government facility. And then through that process, through that matriculation process, I started to understand, I care about people. I care about, social impact. And then through that process, I found myself. And then when I did that, then I knew exactly where I need to go to fulfill that.
Okay. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I can speak to this actually, because I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 6 years now.
What is jiu-jitsu?
So jiu-jitsu is it's like ground fighting. It's grappling. It's got very strict rules. No punches, no kicks, that kind of thing. But you can choke and you can use arms and legs. I think that exercise is the foundation of curing or assisting in the relief of PTSD, depression, and anxiety, and I'm proof of that. I got out of the Army and I ballooned up to about 235, 240. Had no goals because, I used to do PT anymore. That was what I did. What I found jiu-jitsu and a lot of sports will do is it's going to give you a family again. You have a unit of people with you that are all like-minded. We're all here to do the same thing. Gives you a uniform to wear. And let me tell you something, there's something about a uniform. When you've been in uniform for 10, 15 years and you take it off and now you look like everyone else, that's not fun. It's a weird experience, because I was a warrant officer, I was a master sergeant, I was somebody, and people respected me, and they looked at my shoulder and they said, I know who this person is. And now it's like, hey, Frank, you don't know me. I'm not Frank. I'm Master Sergeant. So that does not apply. But in sports, hey, coach, hey, you're the right fielder. Or in jiu-jitsu, you have your belt and you have your rank. So you're a white belt, brown belt, purple belt, blue belt. You know where everybody fits. And you have this rank and you're like, yeah, this belt color means I've been doing this for 5 years. And I'm an expert at these things. And it gives you purpose again. And the final thing I will say is exercise. Man, I'll tell you, I had a bad week last week. Rough week. Long work hours. First thing I did, I went to jiu-jitsu. And I came home and I felt 1,000 times better because the release of endorphins, the release of your stress, the anxiety. No matter if you're playing hockey, football, baseball, there's that release of endorphins. You accomplish something. So 100% that does go into restoring PTSD.
Yeah, just to say something, my experience, because one of the things I did at Andrews is we worked medevac missions. And so a lot of our wounded were coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan. Would go to Landstuhl Air Base in Germany and then come in to Andrews Air Force Base to get treatment at Walter Reed. And so PTSD varies upon the severity of, really is a mental injury based on what they've experienced in the battlefield and combat. You know, it's different from, one guy who, took a bullet to, being in the Humvee and seeing his buddies destroyed by IED. And so, because there's so many different levels and variances with PTSD, then one of the things you do is mental health treatment. One is they got to find a purpose of living that's larger than themselves. They got to have something else to hold on to get them through that. Then the idea is that through that process, they need to get clinical help. They need to talk to psychologists, right, who can try to help them to sort out. But they also need a community of buddies around them who understand what they've been through to work through that process, to say, hey, this is going to take some time from the rigors of war and the things that you've experienced through that process. Because statistically, 22 a day are dying because of PTSD. And some of it's because they don't want to go get the treatment, because they don't want to admit that they have the problem, that they need to be diagnosed and treated with PTSD. So you have a lot of veterans who are homeless because they're untreated, because loved ones have tried to get them to get treatment and they refused. And so dealing with PTSD, dealing with depression and anxiety, exercise does help with those endorphins, but it's not the end all be all. It really takes a holistic approach.
Thank you.
Veterans Can Code, or VCC. Veterans. VCC can help veterans learn coding fundamentals. Transitioning veterans. VCC can open doors to new career prospects for transitioning veterans. Veterans with an established interest in coding. VCC provides veterans with platforms to present their coding skills and an opportunity to build their portfolios.